We're going to go to Paul Bloom, who is in Brooklyn Park at this point where that shelter in place has been lifted, but he's going to bring us up to speed on what's happening there, if anything. Paul.
Hey, Karen, Kelly, good afternoon to both of you. We are along Windsor Terrace now back. This is the block where Melissa Hortman, the Hortmans lived for years in this neighborhood. You can still see some flashing lights and squads blocking any attempt to go further down. To see what investigators are doing over there. The BCA crime processing, big box truck is still down there. Of course, if you've been with us throughout the day, that security, that police-looking squad car that they believe this armed suspect was driving around in overnight, that has been commandeered. That was left in the driveway, lights still flashing. We watched that vehicle get processed. We watched it get loaded up on a flatbed tow truck, and we watched it leave this neighborhood for what I would imagine would be further processing and just really tearing apart what might be in it as they look for the suspect. But yeah, you mentioned the shelter-in-place order, and we've been here all day, and then at first I told you this morning it was quiet. People were respecting it. I mean, you could come and go. People, there was a dog walker here or someone running out for an errand there, but it was quiet all morning long. And then just in the last 30 minutes, I know during Corin's live shot, he had mentioned it. I tweeted it out. I got it on my phone. We all did. Shelter-in-place order now over. And all of a sudden, I'm watching right now, garage doors opened up, dog walkers came out, gardeners stepped into their yard. People had respected that ask to stay inside, not to be bothered. There was the orders about be on alert if only a single police officer comes up to your door. We talked to people who are checking their window, what vehicle's out there. And now there is sort of this sigh of relief, at least in terms of quality of life, safety, feeling comfortable. Doing those things that Minnesotans do on a middle of a June Saturday afternoon. So life returning back to normal. I will point out, though, while there is this belief that the gunman is now long gone from this Brooklyn Park neighborhood where the Speaker Hortman lived with her husband, that there are still what I would describe as SWAT team deployments. So there is a staging area not too far away, and we watch as these heavily armed vehicles, these vans full of SWAT team members step into their get into a train and then head out, and then probably following up on tips. We just don't know. Obviously, there is some emotion just playing out in the middle of the street along Windsor Terrace. I remember just as I arrived here this morning, 10 a.m., I mean, again, hours after the shooting, but the weight, the emotion. Melissa Hortman's not just the Speaker of the House or the, emerita Speaker of the House or former Speaker of the House or the Democratic Party leader, the most powerful, political woman in the state. She's a neighbor. She's a friend. She's a fellow dog walker. I don't know, obviously, the nature of that consoling hug down there, but just talking to neighbors today, I'm going to get myself upset thinking about it. But, that's what this neighborhood is going through at the moment. Clearly, the investigation at that house is going to continue. The vehicle may have been towed, but they are going to want to button up everything that happened in that house, how it happened, why it happened, the gunman's escape route. You think about, again, just the shock. You think about, details of a possible story you may one day cover. And you think about the guy dressed up in a police uniform arriving at, a top lawmaker's home in the middle of the night. There's a shooting, 6-7 miles up the road. Police are here. They confront the gunman at the time. There's an exchange of gunfire. He runs back into the house and then takes off on foot. Where is he now? We just don't know. I told you guys several times today that the Hortman home backs up against the golf course. So once he's out and kind of free into that golf course area, it's a very kind of rustic neighborhood of Brooklyn Park. You could go any which direction. And obviously, right now, the search for him is ongoing. It is a manhunt. But again, do want to point out that last check, 15, 20 minutes ago, near that staging area, we still saw SWAT ready to respond to possible tips. I don't know if these are, people think they see him. I don't know if it's maybe did something get dropped somewhere. Come take a look. But I am still seeing a lot of manpower deployed even as this shelter-in-place order. And then one final note before I send it back to the studio, just I think of just an interesting anecdote that me and my photographer got caught up in. We kind of got to the periphery of that 3-mile square shelter-in-place order as it was expiring. It was right at the Eden Brook Church, and a cop, I believe Champlin or Elk River, one of the just outside of Brooklyn Park, stopped our vehicle at stoplights. He was stopping every vehicle there, and he was doing an eyeball check of our vehicle. Again, the shelter-in-place order had just been lifted. They assumed he was long gone, but even so, law enforcement was still checking vehicles, like asked us to roll down our window. When was the last time your vehicle was checked? Have you been away from your vehicle? Oh, it looks like you have a lot of camera gear in your back seat. So they were checking manually with their eyeballs, did a walk around of our vehicle, and then let us go. So just some of the sort of anecdotal experiences we've had up here. Neighborhood, again, returning to some sense of normalcy today, but clearly so much grief and emotion, and I think what you just saw on camera a minute ago was that playing out, because these neighbors haven't been able to hug each other today. They've been on the phone, they've been texting, they've been emailing, what have you, but now that the shelter-in-place order, people are kind of coming back, and now we're seeing that moment of community.
Yeah.
All right, Paul.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.